A super common question we get is, what is the best electric violin for beginners? Well, first of all, there's no such thing as best. There is no objective best. There's just which one fits your needs, your budget, and your particular ear. Which one sounds the best to you? Also, violins do not come in skill levels. There aren't beginner violins and intermediate violins and expert violins. Any of these violins are going to work for anybody in any of those skill levels, but there are some price ranges that are maybe more palatable to people that are kind of dipping their toe in this water, and they're not sure if they want to spend a fortune on a path that they don't really know how far they're going to go down. So in this video, we are going to talk about 6 different instruments that are in the lowest price tier that we carry. That means the 4-string version is under $1,000 in November of 24 because prices change. And yes, if you search around the internet, you're going to find that there are instruments that cost less than that. You can find electric violins in the $200 or $300 price range. We are aware of those violins. We have tried a lot of those violins, and we do not carry those violins because we've yet to encounter one that we feel good about standing behind. A lot of them, you're going to spend some hard-earned money on this violin, and you're going to get something that either isn't playable, doesn't sound good, isn't reliable, or you're wasting your money, and we know how hard money is to come by. We're all musicians. We don't want that for you. Also, just because they are in the lowest price tier that we carry does not mean they are not quality instruments. Every single one of these instruments is being played by high-level professionals around the world, and they're using it as their main axe to make a living. Plus, we are aware that just because you're new to electric violin does not mean that you're new to violin. We know that a lot of new electric violinists are very accomplished and experienced acoustic violinists. You want an instrument that's going to feel good in your hands. So if you buy one of these lower priced instruments, you might decide in the future that you want to upgrade to a more expensive instrument, or you might not. An instrument like this can serve you through your entire career if that's where you're happy. Now, these are musical instruments. The most important thing about this instrument is what they sound like. So we're going to listen to each of these 6 instruments. Some of them have some different options on the instruments as far as tone controls and all that. We're going to listen to kind of the range of tones that each one of these instruments can make. And then we're going to come back and we will compare and contrast the different features on these and talk about, besides sound, what are some of the things that might help you decide which one is best for you. Now, every acoustic violin sounds different, and there is a range of sounds on acoustic violins. There are bright ones and dark ones and that sort of thing. With electric violins, the range of sounds that you can make are a lot bigger. These instruments sound more different from each other than acoustic violins tend to sound. So the recording process for these instruments, I'm going to plug direct into the computer and record the sound right off the instrument through the output of the instrument. I'm also plugged into a Fishman Loudbox Mini in the room that's about 6 feet away from a microphone that's just off camera here. And we're going to blend in the sound of that amp just a little bit so that you're going to get the best representation of what this instrument's going to sound like for you under real-world circumstances. The Gewa Novita electric violin comes in 4 and 5 string varieties and a number of different colors. This one is an active violin, meaning that it has a battery in it and it has a preamp on board. It has a volume control, treble, bass. It has an auxiliary input if you want to plug in your computer so you can listen to tracks while you're playing the violin. That all comes through here. And then this output is switchable between heading to the amp or heading to a set of headphones. This is the only violin in this price category that comes with an onboard headphone amp, so you wouldn't have to buy anything extra if you just want to practice with headphones. This violin also comes with geared pegs, which is really, really nice. The Yamaha YEV is our top-selling instrument, and it's really not hard to figure out why. It's a super good-looking instrument, comes in 4-string and 5-string configurations, and 2 different colors. This is black. It also comes in natural. This is a passive instrument, meaning no battery, but you just plug directly into here. There's a volume knob, and then there's a button that you can use to bypass that volume knob and give you a full signal with no volume attenuation at all. The Auro violin is a sleeper. This is one that not a lot of people know about, but it is made by the same company that makes Aurora violins. You may have seen those on America's Got Talent, played by Brian King Joseph. These are handmade in Brazil, and they come in 4 and 5 string configurations and a ton of different colors. They really make some very, very pretty violins. This is a fairly simple instrument. It's passive, just has an output and a volume knob. It doesn't have a battery. There's really not a lot to go wrong with this. They just tend to work. The WS model, made by Aurora, the same company that made the last instrument, is a little bit more of an upgrade. This actually has 2 pickups. There's a pickup under each foot of the bridge, the treble side and the bass side. And these 2 knobs here, one controls the treble volume and the other controls the bass volume, giving you a little more ability to sculpt the tone of the instrument right on the instrument before you plug into any effects pedals or amps. Also available in 4 or 5 string configurations, passive, no battery, and it comes in a ton of really beautiful colors. The NS Design WAV violin. NS stands for Ned Steinberger, who, if you're a guitar aficionado, you will know that he made those headless guitars that Eddie Van Halen played. So this is definitely not his first foray into making instruments. The beauty of this headless instrument is that when you're playing it, there's not a lot of weight out here that's coming down on you, so they're super, super light in the hands. It is a very different looking violin. It's got a custom chin rest and shoulder rest system here that this is very customizable. This piece bends and twists and turns and adjusts up and down, and it is pretty easy to get a feel that's going to be just customized for the way your body works. Most violins, a lot less customizable than this, and you just kind of have to figure out how to make them feel right. This one, you can really do a lot of work to make it feel exactly how you want it to feel. This is a passive instrument, no battery on here, but you've got a volume control and a tone control. Tone is basically brightness, so you can turn the brightness up or down. These come in 4 and 5 string configurations and a bunch of different colors as well. The wood violin Stingray violin, made by the same company that makes the famous Viper, the Flying V violin that you'll see Mark Wood play, one of the founders of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. This instrument is available in 4-string and 5-string configuration and a couple of different colors. It is passive, meaning that it does not have a battery in it, just a pickup, a volume knob, and an output jack. They just tend to work. There's not a whole lot to go wrong with them. Super, super lightweight, very low profile. If you need a thicker profile, you might want to kind of look for either a taller chin rest or a taller shoulder rest, but these violins are really cool looking and super lightweight. Now, I know this video is not going to answer every question you have if you're just getting into electric violin. We have a ton of other videos on our YouTube channel here. For instance, a common question we get is, how would I do headphone practice? Here's a link to that video right here. We have videos that will explain the other things that you'll need to buy when you get an electric violin, whether those are effects or amplifiers or headphone systems, whatever those are. There's a link to that video here. Basically, if you have any questions about electric violins, there's a pretty good chance that we have a video about that. This is where our channel is. You can link to that here, and you can see what's going on with all our other videos. If your question is not being answered in any of those videos, or you just want to discuss your situation with us, you can reach out to us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, any of those kinds of places. Or you can give us an email, info@electricviolinshop.com, or you can call our shop at this number right here. And that's all I have to say about that.